Hello there and welcome to the HashPower Academy. This is your place to learn absolutely anything to do with Bitcoin. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at how much energy Bitcoin is wasting globally, a global monetary asset based on energy. And so you're getting these computers, Bitcoin miners, deployed all around the world, where there is a stranded renewable project that cannot sell power and connect to the grid. How are they going to monetize their power? How are they going to sell energy if there is no wired solution? You need a wireless solution. And this is what Bitcoin mining is. It's the energy sector's wireless access to global financial markets through Bitcoin. And so, yeah, through this entire story of video, we're just going to see how much hash rate's online, how much mining is out there exchanging electricity into hash rate to create that Bitcoin. And that gives us a comparison to a country. So let's dive in. Now, this constant is the place that we start. This is the difficulty adjustment to hash rate constant. I don't have a name for it, but it's just an easier way of hash rate and hashes times 2 to the 32 over 600. It complicates things. This is your direct conversion. If you see difficulty, if you go online and search Bitcoin difficulty, it'll come up with a figure like this. It's the current difficulty, and that's in trillions. And if you multiply this by this constant, you can get the hash rate. And so the hash rate right now of the entire network is roughly 1,050 exahash, which, if you're familiar to units of data such as megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, that'll help you familiarize with these things. So we have a hash rate right now of about 1,050 exahash. Now that is the network's recognition of how much hash rate's online. Since doing this video, it's going up even more or going down. We're going into the winter, so even the existing computing resources out there, if it's getting colder, they can perform a little bit better because it's cooler, so the heat can be removed from the computers better. So 1,050 exahash, that is our direct comparison for now. Now, where does this computing power come from? It comes from computers that are consuming electricity. So right now, the average efficiency of the network is similar to a XP, which is S19 XP, which is a computer model which uses about 21 megawatts of energy to make an exahash, which is the same as 21 watts per terahash. So just taking it down a level. And when you multiply these figures together, you get a cancelling of the exahash aspect, and we get a figure of 22,000 megawatts. So right now, the entire network is using roughly 22,000 megawatts. Now, if you go to the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, jumble of words, they have it estimated in terawatt hours about 20% more. I assume that's for all other things around the Bitcoin mining, the all-in energy demand. I think that's too high, but I will just use their figure, which is multiplying this by 24 hours to get it in megawatt hours. So you get a day, multiply it by 365 days into a year, multiply it by 1.2, that extra 20%. I will take Cambridge's data for this and divide it by 1,000,000, and that brings it into terawatt hours. Remember, it's like saying megabytes to terabytes. Easy way to understand it. And we essentially get a figure of 232 terawatt hours. And we'll get onto this country bit in a second. But here's the thing, 22,000 megawatts of power demand out there in the world, actively online, monetizing, this energy is being monetized into Bitcoin. That is a lot of power. That's 22 gigawatt scale, full powered nuclear power stations. 22 of them, not one, Not half, it's 22 of them. Or hundreds and hundreds, if not 1,000 plus hydropower dams. Just think of a hydropower dam if you've ever seen one, and then think of 1,000 of them. Nuts. So the premise of where I'm trying to go with this is that we're talking about a planetary scale energy based form of money. And we have now the financial incentives to build and produce more power because we can exchange it into energy at a base layer. And we structure a new energy economy and society with this pricing system through the compute. Long story. So what is the most direct comparison of the Bitcoin network's energy consumption right now? The answer is Spain. So that is quite a significant country in energy demand. It's not the biggest, but the comparison of Bitcoin's global energy consumption right now is the equivalent of Spain. So not just magic internet money backed by nothing, it's backed by the energy equivalent of an entire nation. And if that is not something worth exploring, learning, delving into, most people don't learn any of this. They just learn, oh, there's a 21 million supply. But yeah, let me take you a final run through of these figures. That's the 22,000. That's times by the 24 times 365 times by 1.2 over 1 million. And you get your terawatt hours. And you can validate this at the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index. I'll put a link in the description. It's a long name. So yeah, this is the amount of energy consumption. This is the sort of real-time, power that's being, and then the exchange rate. This is efficiency of compute. And the other thing to mention here is there is this sort of like split, because this there's going to be this like polarity of mining efficiency, that this is an average, but you've got two groups really merging, which is those going onto the older machines with a higher figure, going onto really cheap power, almost free. And then the new group of machines, which is more the public miners and Bitcoin hosted mining. So it's those efficient machines on more expensive power and inefficient older machines on cheap power. Otherwise, it's expensive machines need expensive power and cheap machines need cheap power. And it allows to make the economics work. But that middle ground of machines, they're all over the place, I'm sure, but there is this sort of polarity between the two groups, but you can take the average in the middle. So yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Please like, share, subscribe, send this to the group chat, send this to anyone you think needs a different perspective on Bitcoin. I will do a few more of these sorts of things, but overall, there's so many different pieces to learn. Yeah, until next time, goodbye.